Julia Watts here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Sidekick Saturday, and I'm doing prompt number 8, I believe it is, which is blue. And I've used a page from the Reminiscence book 7, and we've got looks like a town plan at the back. Excuse me, frog. Always a frog at the beginning of a video. So yes, you'll find some of the products I'm using over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and also in the US at ecraftdesigns.com, and over at ecraftdesigns.eu in the Netherlands. And I've used, for my base, I've used 2029 Sidekick Essentials 27, the toolbox, which is a great set for like men's cards, as well as your renovation type planner pages, etc. Yes, so I've used this one, and it's got a great bit of detail along the edges. Get rid of that. So I'm going to start by actually masking off some areas with some low tack tape, which is wrapped around my hand. So we're going to mask off the whole area there, and we're also going to mask off this border because I don't want to go over the border. And we just do it as close to the dots as we can, trying to keep it straightish. And I'm going to lift it up and change it around if I want to work with it that way. Okay, so that's all masked off, and I'm going to use a stencil from Earth Patterns, which is SO42, and there's 4 stencils in this, and you can see them all there on the packaging. Really like the dotty one. I like everything to do with dots, but we're going to use this one here, and we're just going to pop it there. I think I will just add a little bit of tape top and bottom, just so it doesn't move, because you know, when I'm doing videos things happen. So that's that. Then we're going to add some texture paste to it, and I've selected a gritty texture medium from Sentimentally Yours, and we're going to do it in, because it's blue, we're going to do it in actually 3 colours with 3 different mediums. I've got Prize Ribbon Distress Ink Reinker here in stock on my website. You don't want much of it because it's very, very pigmented, and we're not going to cover a very big area anyway, so that is ample. And when you're adding a liquid to a texture paste, you've got to be very careful that you don't actually add too much moisture, because it'll seep underneath. Then I've got Salty Ocean Distress Ink, so we're just going to have a swoosh of that about there. Then I've got some Florist Media Radiant Lustre Pigment Powder in Cornflower Petal. Again, that's from Sentimentally Yours. And we're going to have a teeny bit of this. Again, this is very pigmented. You don't need to worry too much with powders because they're dry, and they don't actually make the liquid runny. So we're going to have hopefully 3 different blues. I might actually have the darker one in the middle. Just because I put it up there doesn't mean to say I have to have it up there. Like I say, we don't need much of the texture medium. And this texture medium, as it says on the tin, it's gritty. I don't know if you can hear that as I'm mixing it. So yes, it's gritty. It doesn't actually dry clear. That's far too much of that. Don't need that much there. The regular texture medium does dry clear. I've got far too much there, but that's fine. That's always the thing. It's very difficult, especially when you're doing lots of different colours, to figure out exactly how much you need. Do always wipe around the top of the pot so that when you put the lid on it doesn't get stuck. That's the most annoying thing. And this is actually very good. I've had this for a couple of years now and it hasn't dried out. It's very, very good. Highly recommend that. Right, so let's give it a mix. Let's have this one first. And you can hear that grit as I'm mixing it. It's up to you as to how well you mix it. You don't have to have it fully mixed because then you do get a different gradient. So I think we will put that one along the top there, like so. And I'm going to use a woodware scraper just to drag it across the stencil. And I was going to go for lines, but I don't know. I think we're going to have it mixed. I've been very frugal. Very frugal. I need to clean that off. Hang on. I think we're good with that. I do need to work quite quickly, actually. I probably should have mixed them beforehand. So this is the prize ribbon one. You can see how dark that is. Really, almost, it's like a royal blue, the prize ribbon blue. I bet I should have had that one in the middle because it's just, oh dear. What am I like? Making it up as I'm going along. I've even forgotten to use the scraper. I'm at a funny angle here. Ideally, I'd like it to meet. And then that's going to give me a bit of a merged line. Let's see if we can get some of that off and use that. Fill in the gaps. You never get it right. You never get how much you want to use right. I never do. Okay, I've got some more fingers in. Right, let's not bother cleaning this off. We're just going to mix this now. So this is the Cornflower Blue Radiant Pigment Lustre Powder, or whatever it's called. Oh, this is much lighter. So we have got a difference, so that's fine. I didn't want them to look exactly the same. Now, if you're using the regular texture medium, then this will have a shine because it's got mica powder in it. But because I've mixed it with the gritty texture medium, which is more chalky, we're losing that that shine from the mica. Any sort of time you mix a chalk with a mica, the chalk has the priority, unfortunately. But you know, it's fun. It's fun to have a go. So I don't mind that there's like mixes here going on. I've got bits missing, but that's fine. We're going to live with this. Otherwise, I'm going to make a right mess. Right, let's put that to one side a minute, and we're going to do the reveal. Obviously, I can't reuse this tape because it's got the texture medium on it. What's going on here? Oh yes, I only did it top and bottom, that's why. It's very cool. So this will wash off with water. You can, of course, mist it with water and then use a stipple brush to actually do another image, which I will do in a moment. Let's just get this cleaned up. So when we take that away, we've got a nice clean side. And we've got a nice clean side here as well. And this will take probably half an hour to an hour to dry. But it's very cool, and it's actually quite subtle, the difference in the colours. But I did it so you can see that you can mix different mediums into your texture paste. So you're going to put that to one side. I did use the card piece from the Reminiscence book, not the paper. I would urge you to use card, not paper, with a texture medium. So let's just grab a piece of card. This is just white card here, and we're going to just mist this with a little bit of water. This being the stencil. And I'm just going to pop it on there, and we're going to get a stencil brush. You don't want to waste it really, and we're just going to do circular motions with the stencil brush. So we're getting kind of a twofer here, so I could actually cut another page out of this. Another blue page, blue part 2. That's drier up there. Let's just, I'm just going to mist the stencil brush just a wee bit. Yeah, it's very dry up there. The texture, the gritty texture medium does dry a lot quicker than the regular texture medium on your stencil. But I'm just going to take this to the sink with a nail brush and just some cold water, and it should come pretty clean. Okay, I think that'll do. Bit of washing up to do. And there we go. There's our second print. It does still have a little bit of a texture to it when it's dry. Obviously this is going to dry a lot quicker than the original one. So we'll come back after everything's dry, and we'll complete the prompt number 8. Okay, so my background is lovely and dry now. You can see it looks fab. We've got just a bit of a colour difference between the different mediums. As I said, just to remind you, we've got prize ribbon with gritty texture paste in the middle. Then at the top we've got Salty Ocean Distress ink mixed with the texture paste at the top, and then at the bottom is Cornflower, Petal, Sentimentally Yours Radiant Lustre Pigment powder at the bottom. So just a slight difference. And because there's like holes around down the edge of the toolbox base page, I've threaded some of this, just a scrap of this variegated yarn that I've got through it, and then I've knotted it, and I've just used my tweezers just to pull the fibres apart, so we've got kind of a raggedy top and a raggedy bottom, just to have a difference. And of course you've got the wool on the background for our next prompt there. So to finish this off, this is going to be super simple because I don't want to cover up my beautiful blue background. I've got a border here, and this border is from the Pockets 2175, and it's this border here, and I'm also using my numbers there for the prompt number from this set. Do love this set, the Pockets 2. And you can see here at the side I've got some letters from the 2173, the Stencil Alphabet. So let's get our border on, and to begin with, what I did, you can see, because this is from, go back a bit, this is from the Planner Essentials. So originally it's much bigger, it's the right length for all the Planner Essentials, because the Sidekick is smaller. So I've cut that out originally, and then I've run the border through the die cutting machine again with the Sidekick base page, and then it's cut it off top and bottom, and it's put holes in there for me, so they match up very nicely to go on the top of my base page there. And again, it's another paper from the Reminiscence the Book 7. So let's get this stuck down. I haven't checked whether my glue is on board. Ouch, that would be my finger. Bleeding now. Jolly good. I don't want to bleed all over my page at all. I just didn't want to use loads of glue. I think it's a nice thing to do to add a border to the holy side of the page. I stabbed myself good and proper there. Right, let's just pop that over the holes there. That looks pretty good to me. Okay. I'm just going to pop that underneath my mat just so that that glues down nicely. Then for my letters, you can see I've got letters here cut out of the some of the pattern papers as well. And I've just chosen 4 different blue cardstocks, and I've cut the base out of the off-white or a creamy colour, which kind of goes with, you can see that's more of a creamy colour that's on the Reminiscence book. And I thought, first of all, I thought we'd have it so that they stick together and you've got the creamy colour underneath, but I didn't like that, so that's why we're going to use the pattern papers. But because we're going on to texture paste, it would be a bit uneven if I just tried to stick that down as is and then put the letters in. So to make them a bit sturdier, I'm going to stick these 2 together like so. Oh, I've got this to one side as well. This is my waist piece from my stencil, and that's fabulous, isn't it? I will use that again at another date. Right, let's get these letters all stuck, and then we can put the pattern pieces, slot the pattern pieces in. I've still got my solid inners here, so I could use those with the actual die cuts from the pattern papers as well, so you get kind of a twofer. I love a twofer. Let's get this on here. I did ink around the edges of my page as well with chipped Sapphire Distress Oxide, because rather than using a brown, because we are on a blue page. Oh, and I've forgotten what I was going to do. Forgotten my number. If I can get it in there. I know Esther does this a lot, doesn't she? She forgets a number. See if I can get, I want to get it in the middle there. But if we can't, we can't. We'll see. Just edge this with a bit of the chipped Sapphire as well. And we'll put the number on in a minute. See if we can get this. We can. Perfect. I forgot it on the previous prompt as well. Don't know what I'm like. Right, so that's got to go underneath and that's going to go on top. Oh, in you go. Very awkward. It's a lot easier if you remember to do it in the first place. I think that's how it's going to go. It's not behaving any other way. Oh, don't use your finger that's got blood on it, Julie. Right. At least I remembered eventually what we're doing now. We're doing letters still. So we could do pockets and things. We could do all sorts of things with this. I've actually got a nice photograph of, well, I think it is, of the bluebells in my front garden. That would go, because obviously bluebells are blue. But I don't want to cover up my background, so we'll just do a little, we'll probably do a planner card with the bluebells on. They are a bit like weeds in my garden. They're everywhere, which I'm not actually very happy about. I don't mind them in a little bit, but I've got a lot of bluebells. Too many bluebells. And the trouble is that they multiply so quickly that they just crowd everything else out, and I don't want that. They're beautiful in woodlands. I think bluebell woods are absolutely fantastic, but not in my garden. I did inherit them, I didn't plant them myself. And they don't seem to last that long, really. Depends how sunny it is, and it's been quite sunny here in the UK this spring. And so some of the ones in the front garden are already looking very tatty, whereas the back garden's a bit behind. Right, last one, the L. And before we put the Chipped Sapphire Distress Oxide on, we're going to put our other letters in, and then the glue will have dried for me to ink around the edges. Right, okie dokie. There's blue. Right, so we've got L and E are the same colour, and B and U are the same colours. So normally this is the waist. The L and the E are easy because they're just complete letters. See, obviously I've got, these do need a bit of wax paper on them to loosen them up actually, so I've been used a lot. So we've got the E there, so if you wanted to, as I said, we've got a twofer, so we could pop the E in the centre of that, which looks quite cool as well, doesn't it? So we've got that for all of them. I'm not going to poke them all out. Got the B here, got different paper for that, and the U with a righty and a lefty. Come on. I find it easier to put the glue in the recessed area myself. You don't want loads because you are putting a paper in here rather than a card. And then we will use one of these Sentimentally Yours pickup tools with the wax tip. And they're great for picking up pearls, but they're also great for picking up pieces of paper as well. Brilliant if you've got tiny pieces of paper piecing. Of course, that's what we're doing now, we're paper piecing. Doesn't that look fab? I'll pick that push down. Doesn't that look fab? I think that looks great. And then we've got the U. The other side of the U. So I put the lighter pattern paper on the darker of the cards, and the darker pattern paper on the two lighter ones. I could have done them all the same, but you know, there are so many blues. If you haven't got coloured card, you could just colour some card with distress ink. That'll work. Where's my Chipped Sapphire? There it is. And we'll hide those white bits. Don't really see it too much on the front of the dark card, but on the other cards we will see it. Could have stamped as well on I thought about stamping on the lighter ones, but then I thought, well, we've got patterned letters, So I thought it might be a bit too much. It's quite retro, isn't it, this design, this sort of circular one. Very 70s. Imagine a shirt made out of that in the 60s or 70s. Right, so where's my page? Right, so before I do anything, I'm going to put my number 8, because the prompt is number 8 blue. As I said, this is cut from the pockets too, so the centres of the 8s don't want to come out. And I've just done this in the black card because all the rest of my numbers are black. I could have done it in blue, but we're doing it in black. Get rid of those. And I thought we'd put just along the middle. I mean, I could do it at the side, but I think we'll just, because it's prominent, we'll just do blue down here. Make sure we spell it right. You could do it this way, but obviously my number would be the other way. But I'm going to do it like this, so that evenish. We could even go, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? Do it. Let's do it jaunty, because if we do it jaunty, we don't have to get it straight. Jaunty works for me. I'm going to use Mocha Blue. That's getting on my nerves. This will probably need unblocking though. No, we're using the other one. I'm not sure where my pin is to unblock it. And I've already had a bit of an accident with a pin today, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to use these. So we'll start at the top. It is going on the texture paste, so, you know, it might be a bit of a challenge for it. The PVA I'm using is the Sentimentally Yours PVA, and it is quite strong. So we go jaunty like that. Come on. And then the U. Have it about there, I think. How does that look? That looks all right. A bit more of an angle, perhaps. That's my scissors. That gets on my nerves. And last one. With the E. Okay. And then last thing, of course, is to put my reinforcers on. And I've been through my pot and I've got a few mixed ones here, different blues. I've got some really light pale blue, which is called Misty Blue. And then we've got, I'm going to put them in the same order. I'm going to put them in different orders. That'd be right, wouldn't it? Like that, maybe. And I've got the adhesive on the back. This is where I struggle to see where the holes are. Not necessarily the same colours as we've used for the backing here, but they're just what within my pot. And I think they work. Two more. And last one. That's quite a good shirt material, actually, that one as well. I will stick this underneath my mat in a minute after I've finished, just to make sure it sticks. But there we are. There's Sidekick Saturday number 8 blue. Do remember, if you want to join in, there's an album for each of the Sidekick Saturday prompts on the ECD planners and journaling, or journaling and planners, I can't remember which way around it is, Facebook page. You just go into media, and then the albums will be there. And just add your photograph of your Sidekick Saturday, and just put a little narrative, even if it's just like a smiley face, then it will get posted onto the what's it called, the feed. Yeah, posted to the feed. So you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to share it to the actual feed and put it in the album. Just put it in the album with some sort of narrative on there, and yeah, and everybody will be able to see it. Do remember that you'll find some of the products over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, for shipping to UK addresses. You'll also find them over at ecraftdesigns.eu and also at ecraftdesigns.com. Do like and subscribe on my YouTube channel, which is where you are now. There are lots and lots of videos on there, and lots more to come. And thank you for watching.